slugs have eaten my sunflowers. This was going to be a giant wall of sunflowers, and I was in a competition with you guys and my mum to see who could grow the biggest one. This has really ruined my chances of winning that, but also I've just noticed this year slugs destroying so many of my favourite crops. It's been a nightmare. I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong or just maybe the climate, but I know the person I need to speak to and the garden that I need to visit. This guy will give me a load of amazing tips on how to stop these slugs. Well, I think we're here. I think this is it. I'm expecting a big farm or something. Adam?
Hiya Gaz, croeso.
Diolch. Wow.
Welcome to the garden.
Where's the garden? Are we going in the car somewhere? Or?
That's a hidden secret, okay? The garden actually is in the back of this house, so nobody expects it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm intrigued now. Wait, so this is your garden, but wait, that's all yours down there too?
Oh, it just keeps on giving. It just carries on all the way up, so follow me. It'll take you about 10 minutes.
I see a lot of colour. Wow.
I'm not just going grass, okay? just in case you...
But Adam, really, the real reason I'm here, obviously I need to see this garden, but my garden has been decimated by slugs. And this looks pretty perfect. How on earth am I going to stop them destroying my lovely crops? Have you got any tips for me?
I've got plenty of tips, and the first thing I'm going to say, okay, is don't have a beer trap, right? Because one of the things people tend to think is, oh, let's stick a beer trap in the garden, it'll attract all the slugs, but why waste good beer when you can spend your time drinking it after work in the garden? So I'll show you different techniques.
I thought you'd have a load of beer traps everywhere. This is incredible. I can't believe that this garden is all behind your house there. Like how, it's like, it just goes on and on and on. And the colour's unbelievable. And I can already see, I think, one of the slug deterrents. Is that right?
Da iawn, well spotted. It's just right over there. So we're going
all right, let's have a look. God, Adam, this looks like a cosy bed. You curl up in this?
I wouldn't mind curling up. This is sheep's wool, okay?
Right.
And it's fantastic because, you know, the little fibres or the little strands, it tends to stick to the slime of the slugs and the snails, which makes them a bit more slow moving about, so then they get preyed upon by birds and wildlife. So it's a completely organic way of reducing slugs, but it's also brilliant at feeding the soil because it's full of nitrogen. It retains moisture underneath, so the soil is nice and damp
so underneath. You don't have to water as much.
And you see those small weeds there?
Yeah.
That actually stops them from germinating and growing well, so it's a weed suppressant. And I've only just put this on because I noticed that slugs were starting to eat the leaves.
I'm glad you started here because the beans of what the slugs have destroyed in my garden this year. I don't know why, but so just need to get some wool from the local farmer, is it? Or?
Absolutely, or you can get like horticultural fleece as well, which is made out of wool. It's fantastic if you can't get a hold of sheep. But one thing I'll say, the reason the slugs and the snails are eating these, look at that leaf, it's luscious, it's green, it's tender, it's soft. That is the creme de la creme of plants for slugs in the garden.
Wow, that's incredible. And it's important to get like a organic sheep's wool, a nice farm, go to a nice farmer with a few sheep, and that's probably the best stuff, isn't it?
6 happy sheep's fleeces here. There are only 6 of them, and I collected the fleece and they were sheared for their summer weather, you know, because they have to be sheared, of course. And it's just a good way of using a natural product. Let's not let it go to waste.
No, that's so true. All right, this is a great tip. My first memories of cooking were at home with my dad, about 7 or 8 years old, when he was making evening meals, and I was so fascinated by the knives and the fire that I wanted to get involved. My dad started teaching me how to chop and use the chef's knives at home. Early on was quite critical. He would tell me that I needed to be a bit more uniform and a bit more precise. And it was a good little teaching for me and made me realize the importance of having a good quality chef's knife at home. And then when I first walked into the professional kitchens, age 15, 16, in the restaurant kitchens, the only sort of control I felt I had was over my knife. It was like an extension of me. And when I treated it with respect and care, it rewarded me with making me way more efficient and diligent and better at everything, really, when I looked after my knife. So I think the relationship between a knife and a cook is basically sacred, and that's why I'm so proud to share with you this incredible, beautiful work of art. This is a knife I've been making for a long while now with the top knife maker's Cato. It features nods to me throughout, such as the handle, which is made from oak, Welsh oak from my homeland, and Japanese steel, the finest steel, which has my chef knife and rose tattoo embezzled on the blade. It's perfectly balanced, that I can balance it on just one finger thanks to this weighted design that actually has my signature on the back. Now this for me is a knife for life, and I'm so happy to extend this to you so you can get your hands on one. Inside each box there's a package of seeds to grow one of my favorite ingredients and a lucky coin, but in certain 5 boxes there's a gold lucky coin. If you get a gold coin, you're invited for lunch with me. So good luck getting a knife. Click the link beneath this video if you want one. I really cannot recommend this enough. I'm so grateful to work with Cato and also just to be able to share this gift with you guys. And what I like about that tip there is that you're not actually hurting the slugs. And I feel like often you're told to just go out there and cut them in half. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Well, absolutely. You know what? It isn't a garden unless you've got a healthy population of slugs.
Yeah.
Slugs are so important to that ecosystem, and
Wow.
the ethos should always be about managing slugs rather than eradicating slugs. And one tip that I've got, okay, it's another natural tip, is about using things like spoilt fair vegetables and fruit. So have you got like some unused things in the fridge?
Maybe the odd pear or apple at the back of
The
my
odd pear, that's an interesting one, because that's exactly what I've got. Pears tend to go off straight away. So if I just show you over here, under the rhubarb, now the rhubarb leaf obviously is a fantastic cover anyway, but what I do, I put...
Oh my God, there's a slug on there already.
There we go. I put in some of the rotten pears here.
I don't like the look of slugs, I must admit.
But what it does do, okay, it doesn't get rid of the slugs, but it pulls them away from my lupins that I've planted here, which are tender, you know, and they love to eat these leaves, but rather they've got, you know, they've got
So
dessert.
you're feeding them too, and then what you would do is pick this up and move it somewhere else?
Yeah, I'd either take it up to the compost heap because it'll have decay matter. Sometimes the ducks, the quack pack might find them, which is, you know, or birds, which is part of that ecosystem. But in general, it's about luring them away, giving them somewhere that they can go from some of my more beneficial plants there.
That is really nice. And then if you were to put them on the compost heap, you're actually getting them to work for you.
Absolutely. You know, slugs have got a tendency to be homing. They do find their way back, okay? They tend to follow the same patterns in the garden. But again, you know, my garden wouldn't be a garden without slugs. They break down so much stuff. They create so much nutritious soil for me.
Wow.
Why would I want to get rid of them?
You're going to turn me into a slug fan after hating them so much.
You'll be farming slugs now, Gaz, you know? They're fantastic creatures.
So have you got any more tips for me?
I have, yeah. Well, I mentioned the quack pack, which are my little feathery friends up in the orchard. And I take them for a walk every morning, and they wander about munching on all the slugs that they can find.
Oh,
so that's Blodwen.
Blodwen. Are they friendly, or can I get close?
They're friendly, you know, it depends how you treat them, really, you know. If you massage their ego a bit, give them a bit of chit-chat,
they're very beautiful. And you built this pond for them?
Yeah, so this is all about the importance of having habitat in the garden, okay, making a space for wildlife. Obviously, the ducks enjoy it, they enjoy playing about in it, but these are the best slug control machines you can possibly get. No way.
I was about to ask what do ducks have to do with slugs, but so basically they will hunt them out.
They will, yeah, and they'll hunt them in the places you wouldn't expect them. So what I do with these, I walk them around the garden in the morning for their breakfast.
I'd love to watch that.
And they tend to follow each other, and they go around the beds like a Tetris, just like, you know, like Minecraft a bit. But that's Blodwen, Dwynwen and Gwen.
What you've built here is sensational. I love this pond, it's absolutely beautiful, and the ducks, they look so happy, and so they're helping you out. They've got a lovely life. Can people adopt ducks if they've got a garden?
Yeah, definitely. You don't need a large garden for ducks, as long as you've got a bit of water and, you know, a nice safe enclosure from foxes and stuff. Be mindful they like a lot of mud, they like creating a bit of mess, but you know, at the end of the day, there's just such large characters in the garden, and just watching them going around the garden, and like a day like today when the sun's out, like myself, I just want to get in there with them, you know, and just, they're playing and frolicking about in all the
we won't do that today.
Not today, no.
Going to be demonetised.
Well, yeah, you know, that's an X-rated one, that is, for another channel. But this area here, of course, is all wildlife planted, which pulls in the frogs, the toads, and that's another tip. habitat.
Right.
Make sure that your garden is rich with spaces for wildlife, cover for birds.
So the total opposite to a monoculture or just like a few neat beds. You want to try and create like the really natural
Absolutely.
look. But I was also always told that you've got to cut the grass around the beds.
Yeah, that's a bit of a contradiction, because I would tell you that as well. Obviously, if you've got raised beds and grass paths, the lower the grass is, it means the birds can prey on the slugs easier because they can see them. So that is a good tip. But then you still need cover around all that for your toads, for your frogs, for your common lizards, for your newts, for your hedgehogs, for your little mice. You know, all these things will eat slugs and snails. So they're a really important staple in that ecosystem. And you know, you think of the forest, go out to the forest. How many plants do you see decimated by slugs in the forest? How healthy do they look?
Yeah, they all look great.
Who goes out to the forest with all these little slug pellets and toxins and trying to sort out the slugs?
No one.
Nobody. Nature sorts itself out. So make a space for nature in your garden.
I think that's the one thing I'm learning more and more about as I get into growing food more, is the importance of just trying to do it in line with nature.
Absolutely.
And things like this, ponds and building these habitats obviously is so important.
Yeah, think about it as it's not your garden. You're just managing it for nature. Nature owns that garden, and you're just a small little part of it.
Steward.
Okay, like a steward. Yes, yeah. So, you know, Mr. Frog is your boss. Okay, but as well, on a serious note, of course, we've got to think about our gardens as a healthy space.
Yeah. And
a healthy space needs slugs in it.
It's always that thing with humans. We always like to be way too in control, where we take it to a new level, and then we become counterproductive, don't we, with nature?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, it's, at the end of the day, we need to enjoy our space, not get stressed out about it.
Yeah.
But obviously, slugs are a problem, and there are things we can do that won't adversely affect nature, but will control slugs in the garden. And I've got one tip, which is a bit more traditional. Okay. Which is a cayenne pepper and a garlic spray.
What?
Okay.
I didn't think you'd be using salad dressing as a because this sounds tasty.
Yeah, probably is tasty. I didn't think about it like that.
And this is a beautiful little shed.
Well, this is HQ. This is where everything happens. This is all the magic happens. Wow. You know? So it's, I'll just grab it out for you.
Ah, so you keep it in a spray bottle.
That's it, yes. Yeah, so it's like, you know, your water bottle like that then, you see.
So what's inside here then?
Well, what I've got, simply, is garlic cloves. And the reason it's garlic cloves and not crushed garlic is because the crushed garlic I found gets stuck in the nozzle and you can't spray it. And it cakes it all up. Where the cayenne pepper is just fine enough. And the idea behind this is that it leaves a residue, like a salad dressing, on your plants, but the slugs don't enjoy that. Right. So they won't eat it. But
so you've got water, garlic cloves and cayenne pepper in this, and you spray this how many times a day?
Well, once every 7 to 10 days in general, but it depends on how much rain. Being in Wales, if we get a bad week, it gets diluted down with the weather. Yeah. So if you've got a dry period, every 10 days will be fine. If you get a heavy spell of weather in between, then obviously more often. I like this. This is really good, and this is such a great way of not using chemicals. The first thing people think of when gardening, they think they need to go out and get slug pellets and sprays to spray on stuff, but this is just a natural thing. And also, you'll pick your lettuce and it may taste of cayenne pepper and garlic. Absolutely. So you've dressed it already. You've dressed it already. But obviously as well, it does wash off, doesn't it? Yeah. So it doesn't affect anything. Of course. But it does reduce slug damage, especially on younger seedlings and plants. Not so much so on more mature plants, you know, but it's brilliant for your hostas, your seedlings, your cabbages, your lettuces, and yeah, give it a whiff, you know. It's beautiful. So you just need to put in enough in so you smell it in the spray. So I've left this infused for about 24 hours. Can you smell the garlic? Yeah. And I've put a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in, and there's about maybe 1.5 litres of water there. Perfect. It's not an exact science, you know. No. You can tell by the smell how strong it is. It depends on the garlic clove as well. But it's a good way of using garlic that's gone to seed. Yes. No garlic starts sprouting. That's a good idea. I've just noticed you got the anthem there. So do you walk past this and sing it every time? Oh, every time, yeah. Every morning, you know. My hen, wladen, hadayan. It's, you know, it's important to celebrate where you're from, exactly. Isn't it, you know? I noticed you got flowers everywhere. That's something that I'm trying to do at home recently, just because it looks so beautiful. Yeah, they've got two purposes, really. You've got the beautifying element of it, so the garden looks like somewhere you want to be in. Yeah. But secondly, it's like a sacrificial plant or companion planting. So you'll notice these French marigolds here, okay? Yeah, they've got no leaves. They've got no leaves. No, they've only got flowers. And it's not a particular variety. What's happened is the slugs and the snails, they've munched through all the leaves. So they've eaten these, but they've left the lettuce, isn't it? Absolutely. That's it, you see. I use like a hot gas, fair play. Because I had this same oak leaf lettuce, and it got destroyed by slugs.
I should have just planted some flowers next to it.
The idea, especially with French marigolds, for example, because the sensory element of it, there's like perfume to the slugs, so it actually attracts slugs away from other plants. So I'll often plant French marigolds around the garden in like little rows or little fortresses around the plants I want to protect.
That's a really good way of thinking it, like almost a fence around your bed.
Absolutely, your first line of defence, yeah, against the slugs here, okay, and then you've got your second line here where everything's happy here, yeah, and then you move further in. So sometimes it doesn't have to even be French marigolds. It could just be that you're planting lettuce, the weaker lettuces that you've transplanted that you would have just thrown away and discarded. Well, plant them in a row so that they get eaten first. Yeah, so I've got lettuce planted in another part of the garden that I know I won't eat. It'll be fantastic meals for the slugs, but it'll save my parsnips.
That is a really good tip.
But it's just, lovely. I love lettuce. All kind of salads. And a lot of people don't give it enough credit.
Give me some of that spray, I'll put that on there.
Yeah, it'd be lovely.
I love these sort of very manicured pathways you got, and the grass too. Is this a reason for this? Is there slug protection?
Absolutely, because as you imagine, the gravel dries out in the sun on a day like today, so it's a dry, hot environment, so slugs don't like traversing across it, okay? So the greenhouses where all the delicate plants tend to be, so this is like my M4 corridor that stops them from this end to that end. Now,
this is the highway that the slugs do not want to get on.
Absolutely, but with that in mind, okay, the Welsh word for slug is gwlythyn. Can you say gwlythyn?
Gwlythyn.
That's the one, gwlythyn, which means the creature of the dew. It comes out in the morning when everything is damp. And that's one tip I'd like to share in the greenhouse, okay, that we don't water of an evening. It's a tendency, we finish work, we go home, let's get watering all the plants here before we go to bed. That creates the perfect environment under the cover of darkness for your slugs to have a free-for-all.
I can't tell you the amount of times that I've watered my greenhouses at night time or in the early evening, so I've basically just given them a happy place to be to destroy all my plants.
Yeah, it's like wacky races for slugs in your greenhouse.
No.
Okay? You've created
Why did I come to you before?
Perfect environment. So water in the mornings, water before the sun's too strong, you know, before the day starts. It's a lovely start of the day. You hear the birds singing, feel the fresh air on you, get that water, give your plants the best start of the day as well, and that'll reduce slugs, because of course the moisture will evaporate from the surfaces during the day, so then slugs won't come out in the daylight either because they're more vulnerable as well.
That is a good tip.
So over here, Gaz, I've got some old rhubarb leaves. You know when you harvest your rhubarb?
Yeah.
You've got them leaves, you want to dispose of them. Place them down on the soil surface. Because they create a nice bit of moist and sheltered area, what they tend to do is pull the slugs in, especially on a day like today, when it's hot and dry. They want somewhere humid and moist to live. And then what you can do is collect those slugs away then and remove them from your tender plants. So here, I've got parsnip seeds starting to germinate.
Will there be slugs under there now?
There should be slugs, ordinarily brown snails, because they tend to like going under. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, we are. Here we go.
Oh my!
Here we go. Look, see. Wow, that's great. Thank you.
That is unbelievable.
Right on cue. It'd be embarrassing if it wasn't anything there, wouldn't it? But, so there you go. Your common garden snail there. Yeah, can you see? So they've huddled under there where it's all moist. So that's all I can do is remove them like this.
So in the mornings you come in and just take them away?
Yeah, absolutely. Take them, put them in the cover somewhere away from the tender plants. Yeah. If you just
I don't want to touch them.
Yeah, you can have them.
I'm not that much of a gardener yet. I don't like all the creepy callies.
But you know, like I said, you know, they're fantastic just to do that, and it's a really efficient way of using.
The French would love this.
The French would absolutely love it. I don't know if they're big enough for a French restaurant grade, but yeah, common garden slugs can be a menace in the garden. They can munt through things quickly. Yeah, garden snails, sorry, not slugs. Slugs aren't as destructive as your common garden snail.
Wow, that's so good. Just rhubarb leaves. And I guess then, if all else fails, you can just come out with a head torch on at night and pick the slugs off and throw them over your neighbour's garden,
Absolutely. Well, you know, it depends who your neighbour is, but I definitely do that head torch on, a bit of a treasure hunt looking for them, and just warn your neighbours beforehand, because they might be thinking, who's this bloke at 11:30 in the evening with the light on, but it works really well. It's just an efficient way of removing them from the garden as well.
You have filled me with a lot of confidence now, because I thought my garden was going to be destroyed this year, but it's about working in tune with nature, in harmony with the slugs, use them to your advantage, and there's a load of free hacks here that's not going to cost me any money to sort of keep them at bay.
Absolutely, and remember, your garden's still young, and the younger your garden is, okay, especially in year 2, year 3, it tends to become a magnet for all kinds of different pests in the garden because they didn't know it was there before.
True,
yeah.
true.
So it will settle down. This is into its 5th, 6th year now, and things have balanced. The ecosystem is finding itself. It's on a bit of a seesaw, and once you get that balance right, striking that natural balance, you'll be well away.
Amazing. Thank you, Adam.
It's all in the clap, Gaz. See? They understand the clap.
Find the slugs. You got to come up with a song.
You have, if you could start singing, Gaz, you know, you're welcome to. I'll watch you.
Adam, thank you so much. My audience and I are definitely going to be so appreciative of these amazing free tips on keeping the garden safe from the slugs, but just embracing them, really.
Well, yeah, that's it. And you know what, I've nearly forgot one because we're standing right here now. Okay, you see over here, I've got an insect hotel, a bug hotel. It's again going back to that biodiversity, getting as much creatures into the garden. It's full of beetles, and beetles prey on slugs as well, okay? So if you'd like, maybe I can come to yours and show you how to build one of those.
That looks really, really cool. It looks like it's supposed to be there. Like it's very natural looking.
Yeah,
so
it's only been there for 6 months, you know, and it's completely naturalised and it's just full of life.
Really, I've got to get one of them in the garden. You continue to inspire me all the time. Thank you so much. You've taught me so much through your videos. And if you want to see more of Adam's stuff, click the link under this video. Please support him. He does so much great work for the community in schools all around Wales. So thank you. You're the best.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll see you soon. And guys, if you like this video, like, comment and all that good stuff. And I'll see you soon with another episode coming up in the near future from beautiful Wales.
Hey.
Die down.